Hey guys, Creator Mom. I just want to make one more video for today, and it's a funny story actually. So as I said in my previous video, I had to go get my car fixed, so I had to drop it off and take public transportation back. Well, anyways, a lot of things are electronic these days, which I really love in a way because it makes everything like so easy. But so you don't even need you don't need paper coin currency to get on the bus anymore. You can use apps and purchase all your tickets electronically, which I find very handy. But because like I don't do this all the time, I started to try to be overly cautious, right? I have this thing where I jump the gun. You ever get that way? Like you get anxious, not in a bad way, but you're like, oh, I gotta jump the gun. I gotta do this and that. And I was thinking, oh, I should stop by the bank before I drop my car off. Now, mind you, I only had 15 minutes left because I wanted to drop it off as soon as they open at 9 o'clock, right? So I was like, I think I can make it to the bank, though, because the bank and the car shop are literally on the same road, but on opposite sides. So I'm like, I think I can make it to the bank, right? And make it back in time. So, but I could tell I was being overly cautious because I was like, oh, I should have cash on me. It's good to have cash on you and not just card. And I was overdoing it. I could tell, but I was still justifying myself. So I pull up to the bank. I'm like, it's in the city. So I'm like, oh, perfect. There's parking. There's not always parking in front. There's like one spot. So I pull up. I walk over to the ATM. And the ATM says out of service. And I just bust out laughing. And I'm just like, of course it's out of service. Of course. Because, well, first of all, I could interpret it a couple of ways. I can interpret it that I was sensing a little resistance to getting money out of the bank. Like, oh, maybe you just shouldn't do that. But like, yeah, like you don't need to do that because my inner self probably already knew that ATM was out of service. Like your inner self just knows. But my brain, being overly logical, overly cautious, it's like, oh, you should get money out, just in case, even though you're going short on time, like just get money out. Which, the things the brain suggests generally always sound like a good idea, right? It sounds very well-meaning. Our brains are so well-meaning. And but my spirit was like, my spirit already knew, as it's eternal, what the hell was going on. So I just started laughing. I'm like, oh my God, this is so funny. So I could interpret it that way, or I could interpret it as a sign that trust more. You could have trusted your internal guidance. You didn't need money right now. Sure, carrying cash is a good idea, but you didn't need to do that right now in this instance. And boom, I just showed you that you don't need to have. So it was kind of like a sign to me, like, no, you're going to be fine. Everything's going to work out fine, when I saw that the ATM said out of service. So I could interpret it like one of two ways. I mean, either way it's good though, but that's why I started laughing. Because I'm like, there I go, being overly cautious, and it says out of service. So I just went and dropped off my car and everything worked out perfectly fine. So just a little short fun story.